Hey, welcome to the BuiBros podcast, where two bros get to take the time to speak about their crazy mistress, the NFL, where she takes us away every Sunday and often breaks our hearts, and especially for the two of us. I'm one of your hosts, Quinn Bowie, and I cheer for the LA Chargers. Across from me on the other side is one of the coolest dudes I know, my brother, Brandon Bowie.
Very nice, very nice. That is me. I'm Brandon. I cheer for the Vikings, and as he said, there is plenty of heartbreak to go around.
Not next year, though. 2024 is new.
That is correct. Not next year. Not next year. Currently, we are, what is it, 1 day removed from free agency starting.
Holy
And
moly.
what's that?
Yeah, holy moly.
Holy moly,
Um,
what a 1 day.
One day, end of day two today, but tomorrow start the new league year. So, thought it'd be a good moment to take a look back. What happened in 2023? What went right? What mostly went wrong? And what we can do to make sure that 2024 does not end in the same fashion.
That's correct. That's correct. And we will talk as if we have any control over the outcome. So,
Of course, the fans have all the control. Absolutely.
yeah. Um, okay, so we can start. We'll start with a Vikings recap of the 2023 season. Thought that would be a good way to kick it
Yeah.
off.
So, what went right? What went right last year?
What went right? The season started pretty horribly, and then the middle was pretty horrible, and then it ended pretty horribly. But within the horrible, I thought that there was lots of fun. I think we started 1-5, which was
Right. Yeah, because there was the moment. It was week three. It was
yeah,
week three. It was Chargers Vikings, and
Chargers
whoever
Vikings.
lost and had zero wins, that was the end of their season. So
It
they said,
yeah. And then turned out that you guys won, and then your guys' season ended sooner than ours did. It felt like
"That's
somehow.
100% what happened. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Don't
and
remind
I
me."
I went to that game, and it was absolutely awesome, yet horrible. In the last, I think it was like 15 seconds,
Yeah.
there was some confusion, and then a tipped pass leading to another tip to an interception, which was absolutely horrible. So yeah, so
Well,
I'll
it's great.
recap.
I mean,
Sorry.
you've been on. I mean, we went to the Chargers Vikings game a couple years back when it
Yeah.
was in SoFi,
Hmm.
and Vikings beat us on our home turf, so we just had to return the favor.
Yeah, great game. Yeah.
Of course, in dramatic fashion, end of game, last minute, within 3 points, like wild.
Well, here I have the scores from last year up here. I won't go over every game. Maybe I'll just say something quick, but the Bucks week 1, I remember thinking, "Ooh, this is easy." Baker Mayfield. So we'll start off really
Right.
easy with a win, no big deal. Incoming 20-17 loss. That was super sweet. And then week 2 against the Eagles, which is the same as the season prior, week 2
Right.
against the Eagles, and I didn't have much hope there, and we stayed in it, and it was super fun, but another loss, another one score
Yeah.
loss, as we are so accustomed to. And then week 3, like we talked about, going in 0-2 against the 0-2 Chargers, thinking, okay, well, whoever goes 0-3, we may as well just pack it in. Uh, and there was a ridiculous, it was just back and forth, lead changes here and there, and then there was a ridiculous pass tipped by Caleb Evans, I think, our corner, tipped right into Josh Palmer's hands for a touchdown. Just,
Yeah, I remember that long bomb was
oh my God.
finally something to happen there in offense.
I remember because I was sitting next to another Chargers fan,
Yeah.
and
Cool dude.
Brett, very cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cheering because he tipped the pass or it looked like an interception almost, and then just like yeah, oh, and he just was the exact opposite. It just blew up, and you're just
Yeah.
thinking, oh my God. And I think that was the final touchdown of your guys, but whatever. And then after that, Panthers. Okay, well, we should beat the Panthers. There should be nothing else to it, and it was not. It was not easy. Again, another one score game. Chiefs Vikings, also heartbreak. just a random and horrible way to end the game with a bunch of controversial no calls that haunted us for a couple weeks.
Right.
My wife Carly, who you obviously know, is still not over that. We'll
We
reference
were at
the
your place, right?
what's that?
We were watching. We were watching at your house.
It was horrible. It was like
Yeah.
there was a PI or a defensive holding in the back in the secondary, and then that was not called. Then there was I think Kirk. I don't think I would have. It was like that egregious of a roughing the passer. I don't remember exactly. But then there was like the guy took his helmet off, and then the ref came up to him and was like, "No, put your helmet back on." Which you
Right.
can't,
Yeah. No penalty. I
no
know.
penalty.
That's the way it is with the Chiefs, right?
And I think that penalty itself would have been like after the play, so it wouldn't have been like a first down for the Vikings or anything like that. But it's still,
Right.
who knows, right? You never know what's going to happen. Vikings beat the Bears, easy peasy. Then Vikings beat the Niners, which was super, super surprising.
Right.
It was super fun. I think that was like the second game of the Niners 3-loss skid that they had like randomly in the middle of the season.
Where we saw what Brock Purdy truly was.
Maybe.
Sorry, Aaron.
Maybe. And then week 8, we beat the Packers 24-10, and it was so horrible because Kirk Cousins tears his Achilles. Oh, I missed actually. Prior to this, JJ got hurt in here. I think he got hurt week 5. Another absolutely horrible thing.
Yeah, it was early on.
Oh, that was during the Chiefs game, actually. It was during the Chiefs game. That's why also that Chiefs game was so horrible, is because JJ got hurt, and then we lost in just it didn't seem like a good loss. Not that any are good, but you just...
Well, it was a bigger loss because of that, right?
Yeah.
And then you lose Kirk right after that stretch of good wins.
Kirk, on some people would say, like an MVP pace. He was
at the time
tied for first in touchdowns, tied for second not tied for second, but second in yards per game. Maybe first in yards per game. Not sure.
Right.
Almost 300 yards per game. I don't know. He was crushing it.
Right.
Completion percentage was like 5th in the league at the time, I think. He was doing so well, and it was just to see like the guy who's never been hurt get hurt. And I've never really experienced quarterbacks getting like that hurt, and that sucked. That really, really sucked.
Yeah, and I guess Kirko was one of the things that went right in the season.
Oh, he was the best. I had a lot of fun watching him, and I've always been a Kirk fan, as you know. And so to see him go down, super heartbreaking, especially in a division win, against the Packers, who were like, ooh, maybe the Packers are going to be good this year. Maybe Jordan Love is this or is that. And it just turns out that we did really, 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 really well against them. And then he goes down, he gets hurt, and it just feels bad. Like it feels worse than any of the losses that we had prior. And it was a win. Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, the roller coaster of emotions starting out the way he did, and then getting that glimmer of hope, and building on that, and then just 2 very close back-to-back injuries, big ones too.
Big ones. And that's week 8, which I believe is right before the trade deadline. And we're thinking, what the hell?
Right, because Kirk was an option for trade deadline.
I don't know if people were really talking about...
I remember reading a bunch about that, where... Because the Jets, right? Because the Jets lost Aaron Rodgers, and, and they were going all in. And
that just seems like some media stuff that they were saying.
Trade deadline. You gotta.
I guess that's how it goes. But I don't remember feeling like they were going to trade him at all. Like, that didn't, from a fan, my perspective, I should say, I didn't really feel that. But yeah. Anyways, so trade deadline comes. The reports come out that the players called the GM, our GM, Kwesi, and was like, and they were saying like, hey, don't sell. We believe, like, we have faith, which felt really cool as a fan. And to read that.
So you needed to go out and get a quarterback.
And then we go and we sign Josh Dobbs, who I didn't really watch too many.
Season savior Josh Dobbs.
Yes. I didn't really watch too many Cardinal games in the early season because no Kyler Murray. You just kind of expect they're not going to be great. You know, they seem like what the Panthers were is what I thought the Cardinals were going to be going into the season. Anyways, sign Josh Dobbs. Okay, maybe this is cool. Who do we play? We play the Falcons. Okay, we win 31-28 in the coolest way ever. This guy comes in, the Pastronaut comes in and has just, it's what seems like the game of his career. He won NFC Offensive Player of the Week off like not that great a stat line, like a good stat line, but like other guys in the league were crushing it too. But just the story behind this guy comes in. It wasn't even supposed to start. Jaron Hall starts. I think it was the first or second drive. Jaron Hall gets knocked out pretty much. Concussion protocol. He's out. Right, Dobbs comes in, has a hell of a time, doesn't know the play calls, doesn't know the playbook really. Our coach is in his ear as much as he can going, this is the play, and that's just like this. It's like this. It's like just breaking it down for him in super, super easy terms. Super fun.
Yeah, because he arrived that week.
He was there for like 4 days because it was right after week 8. You got to trade for somebody because the deadline comes, on like Wednesday or something like that. So they trade for him. He comes in. He's there for 4 days or something. Isn't supposed to start. He's just supposed to be there. Jaron Hall gets hurt. Mullins is out with like a neck injury, I think. He was on IR. So then we only have Dobbs. He's got to go in, and he performs. He does super well. It was super fun to watch. He
got you believing.
He got me believing.
He got a lot of people believing. He was like one of the waiver wire gems in fantasy.
That's why.
Including me.
Which we'll get to that
the next
part.
week, I think
The next week he did good too. So that was against the Saints. And we won.
It worked well for me that next week.
We won against the Saints 27-19. It worked. And then look at me. How lucky am I? I get to go to a second game of the season the next week against the Broncos, week 11.
Yes.
How fun. Josh Dobbs has been crushing.
So much fun.
Josh Dobbs. He's the man.
2 Viking games in a year.
Turned out to not be the man. And I don't think I've rewatched that game, like the broadcast of it. So I don't have any commentary from that game. Watching it, I was pretty like, oh no, he'll do it. He'll pick it up. No, he'll pick it up. Just give it more time. He'll pick it up. Until the end of the game, there's no time. He didn't pick it up. He didn't crush it. We lose. It's still, the score is 21-20.
How many interceptions did you throw that week? It was like 4.
It was something. Oh no, it wasn't that game that he threw 4. I don't think. Let me look. I don't think it was that game. I think it was a game. No, he was 1 touchdown, 1 interception. We're getting to that game. Don't worry.
Yeah, that 4 interception. Oh god.
So that's the Broncos. The next week, this is week 12, I believe. Bears. We lose 12-10 against the bum Bears, who didn't have Justin Fields back. No, because we haven't. They didn't have Justin Fields back. I don't think. Oh, they did have Justin Fields back. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, because he came back. He came back the week before. I thought he was going to come back because he got hurt against us, and then came back. I thought he was going to come back against us, and I thought that would be kind of cool, but it didn't work out that way. This game, Joshua Dobbs, awesome stat line: 22 of 32, 185 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions, as was previously mentioned. Absolutely horrible. And he had to start the next week too. In the absolute nail biter of a game, Vikings win against the Raiders. Do you remember the score of that game? The score of that game, I wonder if this was right after they slaughtered.
Was it 6-3? It was something.
It was 3-0.
3-0.
I think it's like one of the first times a team has won with 3 points before. And I think like the week before the Raiders, or though the Bears beat us, it was the first time they had beat a team who scored 10 points without scoring a touchdown. Something like that. It was something weird. And so we didn't allow a touchdown in those 2 games, and we went 1-1 and scored a total of 13 points. It's just, this is where all of a sudden you have zero faith anymore. Kirk's
So week
gone.
13 was your Raiders game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chargers fans don't want to talk about week 14 Raider game.
Yeah, I was wondering, because so they go, I was thinking it was after, but it's before, because they go from scoring 0 to 63? Is that what it was? 63? We'll get there. We don't have to talk. We're not there yet. We're at my heartbreak, not yours. Okay. Then this is where it sucks. This is where stuff sucks. It's not going well here at all. Then the Vikings lose next week to the Bengals 27-24. Again, close game, heartbreak. I remember T. Higgins had this catch. He catches it, is being dragged away from the end zone, and just whips his arm back. Just whew, and crosses the line. And it's just
barely breaks the plane.
Oh, it was horrible, dude. And then, okay, so now we're into the final 3 weeks of the season. This is how it works. It was something strange. It was like, if we can beat the Lions, then the Packers, then the Lions, and the Lions lose their week 17 game, so they lose twice to us and then lose their week 17 game, all of a sudden it was like, we can win the division or something like that. And then there was a scenario where the Lions don't even make the playoffs. There was all these wild scenarios going on. Turns out we just lose to the Lions, lose to the Packers, lose to the Lions, which was great. It was great.
So the scenario couldn't even play out.
Yeah, we went 0-4 to end the division. Horrible. Anyway, so yeah, Lions 30-24, Packers 33-10. That's like the only like big loss that we had on the season. If the next week 30-20 as well, like it's just so the end of the season.
Tough way to end the season.
The end of the season was 4 losses in a row, and then our one win prior to that was a 3-0 win. So pretty shitty.
So it gives you a lot of hope going into next season.
Oh yes, but we'll talk about that after.
Yeah, well, I guess a lot has changed since then. But after the way that 2023 ended, like what needs to change? Like what's happening here? How do you get better in 2024? Or is it gonna have to get worse a little bit before it gets better?
We're gonna get better by paying JJ. I don't know how that makes us better, other than the fact that he's going to get this big boost of confidence.
Well, he stays. He stays. That's how it is.
He's staying. That's not even a question. We're never going to talk about that. The man, I think he played 10 games last year. Barely, because he got injured a few times, and it was all wonky.
Still had 1,000 yards.
Still had 1,000 yards. The guy is a G. He's too good. Yeah. So good. And then the 4 starting quarterbacks last year. That's how we improve, is we have 1 to 2 starting quarterbacks if we draft a rookie and have just the bridge be the bridge for the first little bit of the season.
Okay.
But yeah.
So really depends on this whole quarterback situation.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is free agency the end all be all for the Vikings quarterback situation in 2024, or
Possibly.
is there a potential draft situation which we'll get into shortly to make next season? Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Chargers, last year, worse record than you. Why we have a higher draft pick than you this year. What went right? Well, I'll keep it short and sweet. Like it was week 1 against the Dolphins. We haven't had a good rushing attack in a very long time. Week 1, we have 233 rushing yards as a team against the Miami Dolphins in a high-scoring affair. Unfortunately, 36-34 loss to the Dolphins, but 5.8 yards per carry. Holy, even though we lost to the Miami Dolphins just by 2 points, though, we believe. Week 2, Tennessee Titans, we lose. Week 3, we beat the Vikings, we believe. Week 4 against the Raiders, 2-2. We're back to 500. It's fantastic. And I'm pretty sure we had the Week 5 bye. And then we come out of the bye, Cowboys lose, Chiefs lose. We beat the Bears. Remember if Justin Fields was there. We beat the Jets, sans Aaron Rodgers. Lions, close game there. High scoring affair. Sorry we couldn't do you a favor. You didn't do us one with the Chiefs. 41-38 for the Lions. Packers crush us. Joey Bosa gets carted off. Very emotional. Everything just unravels here. Ravens 20-10. We beat the Patriots 6-0. That's fun. Broncos crush us 24-7. And then there was like a void somewhere around week 14. Come back December 23rd. Bills 24-22. Broncos 16-19. Chiefs in the new year 13-12. Solidifying us the 5th overall pick in the 2024 draft. Besides all those losses, I mean, looking at the big names on our team, and that's, Chargers have had a crazy roster over the past several years, but Rashawn Slater just found out he was playing through a double high ankle sprain the entire season. He played through it. That's why his production dipped. Injuries throughout the offensive line, of course. Mike Williams tore his ACL against you.
Yeah, I saw that. That was horrible.
Week 3.
It sucked. We didn't know how bad it was.
After a great start to the season, Corey Linsley, our all-pro center, missed 14 games because he has some sort of heart condition. And we already talked about Joey Bosa. Justin Herbert, fractured middle finger on his non-throwing hand. Early on, I believe it was week 4. And then week 14 against the Broncos, he breaks his index finger on his throwing hand. Guy's an absolute stud. Tough mother out there. And, last year with the rib injury, he's just been playing through a lot of injuries. And one of the reasons why we see a lot of the draft scenarios, we need to protect Justin Herbert. So, and we'll get to that. Keenan Allen, he had a few nagging injuries throughout the season, ended up stopping right around the time Justin Herbert was done for the season. I'm more of the belief that we held him back. Just there's no reason to play.
Yeah.
Let's preserve Keenan, make sure he's available next year.
He must have had a career year. Right?
He was on pace, absolutely. Like he was crushing.
He had over 200 yards against us, I'm pretty sure. 17 or 18 catches.
He had another game where it was 175 yards. Like he had some absolute bangers out there, and he was having a career year with Kellen Moore calling the offensive plays. But just the way the injury and the way the season panned out, there was no point in keeping him in. Unfortunate. And in between there, we have Josh Palmer, Canadian. Shout out to the Canadian. He's out there injured too, in and out of the lineup. Of course, Austin Eckler, our beloved signing from the Vikings. Eric Kendricks. He was injured throughout the year, and of course, superstar Derwin James, in and out of injury as well. And those are just some of the big names. There's so much more. Brandon Staley, really, really like him as a person, but he just seemed like he couldn't find an identity. That first year, the aggressive play calling and really trying to incorporate that into his play style and who the identity of the Chargers were. I feel like the media may have gotten to him. Obviously, you do have to be smart in the play calling and whatnot, but he really flipped the switch on that front, and it was really all downhill in that week 14 game against the Raiders. You could see it in the players. There's no way a team loses that bad if they've just lost all hope. not an excuse. No player should do that, and they really left Staley out to dry. I was among the majority when we were looking for a change, um, and at that point, knowing that a change was coming, I felt bad. It was not the way that anybody should go out. And like I said, Staley very seems like a very good guy. And all the
I
best to him moving forward. Now he's one of the defensive assistants over there in San Francisco. So
he's like
he got a
assistant head
job.
coach or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has an opportunity to work back through it. What a great opportunity! He goes plays with Joey's brother over there in San Fran. Great defense. That's been a constant of theirs for the last while there. Playing under Kyle Shanahan. They've been successful and they've been winning.
Yeah.
So all the best to him
I I just
to a certain
realized
degree,
to a certain degree, yeah. All the
right?
best until they
Right.
play you.
The Vikings, of course, in the
Mhm.
NFC, and if they ever play the Chargers.
Mhm.
Um,
But yeah, just on Brandon Staley, I remember in his first season there was a bunch of press conferences that I used to watch of him, and I remember thinking, this guy's cool.
he's smart.
He's
He's
smart,
got it figured out.
but he also like he didn't beat around the bush. He said things very concise, and he was very well put together. Said things that you go, oh, that makes sense. I like
Hmm.
what he's saying. I like his mindset. I like his viewpoint on a lot of things. And something that I thought was pretty telling was after this season. I don't know when they do like those player cards, like those like those report cards that the players do to talk about their
Oh,
organization.
right.
Your
Just
guys'
happened a
coach.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know when they actually do the voting for it though. And I know that
Hmm.
it's all based on your starting coach. It's not, so it wouldn't be like your interim coach that was voted for. It was Brandon Staley, and he had a
Right.
pretty decent ranking from the players. And I remember thinking maybe he didn't actually lose them. Maybe it was more like tons of coordinators, great coordinators, aren't great head coaches. You know,
I mean, he
with
had
the
a B, so it looks like he got a B rating.
which is
I think
pretty
Brennan's.
good. It's not like there's
No,
some.
no, it's pretty good. But when you look at the overall picture, so he was tied for 23rd best coach in the league.
Yeah, but it's just there's certain guys like all the rest of like the
Wasn't
fired
enough.
coaches, all the rest of those fired coaches got pretty bad reviews from their players. So I just thought that was like a pretty interesting and possibly telling
Yeah, I
piece of
mean,
information.
we hear the term players coach a lot now,
Hmm.
right? And he was described as such. And I believed it. I loved watching the mic'd up sessions, training camp, practice,
Hmm.
games even. Um, and you hear his passion and just love for the game, but love for the players. And
He
so
feels
I'm sure that played a big part in this report
he feels
and the
almost
NFLPA grades.
Dan Campbellish. Like Dan Campbell's one of a kind.
Yeah, like the
But
calm, nice,
yeah, but even
smaller Dan Campbell.
yeah, much smaller. Even in their like philosophy on the game though, like just going for it, putting your own destiny in your own hands, right? Like you guys go for it. If you guys get a few more of those fourth downs go your way, then you're Dan Campbell right
Right.
now. You're the Lions right now. Possibly. It's a gamble every time. And maybe it wasn't always the right decision, but that guy lives and dies by it, and he's living right now. And Staley also lived and died by it, but he died, right? Like it just didn't go his way. But a couple little
Right.
things, that one catch or that one thing there, and you win a few more
I
games or a
get it
bunch more.
100%, and it's such a positive way to look at it.
Mhm.
The Lions converted more of those fourth downs for a reason, though, right?
Totally.
And like as a hopeful and optimistic fan, when I can be, it like I believe that the injuries would play a part
Mhm.
of it. Like there was a missed call and whatever didn't go right for the Chargers, and but all of that is behind us
Yeah.
now.
Now that
we
it's
have
over.
hope for the yeah, exactly. That was 2023. We're in 2024, and there is hope. And holy moly, is there hope? When I ask myself what has to change from 2023 to 2024, the first thing that happened was the head coach. And oh my goodness, the rumors that were flying around end of season. Well, last year, this coach was looking at coaching the crown jewel in Justin Herbert. This coach thinks that Justin Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. This coach really wants to be here for the Los Angeles Chargers. And if last year, for whatever reason, after the terrible collapse to the Jaguars in the playoffs a couple years back, if there was an opportunity, he could have potentially been that coach. Well, that coach was Jim Harbaugh. And their rumors mill was swirling. And Chargers fans had all the hope in the world. And holy moly, that one fateful day, Jim Harbaugh becomes the head coach of the LA Chargers. So what needed to change? We needed to get somebody who was a winner. And trust in Harbaugh is all I have for 2024, whatever the plan may be. I always have opinions when it comes to free agency, when it comes to the NFL draft. As a plan, the media hypes me up. I am a victim of that, but I don't care. Whatever happens, Jim Harbaugh has the answers, and that's what we need to happen. 2024 is for us as Chargers fans. No. It's a new thing. It's a new era. The Chargers paid. They weren't cheap. They went out and got somebody who was going to get the job done. And here we are, Jim Harbaugh. Holy moly.
I have faith, and I'm with you guys the whole way. We don't play this year until the Super Bowl. So I'm with you for almost the entire way. But
exactly. Yeah, until the Super Bowl 2025. But so entrusting in Harbaugh, like he's got a tough job ahead. And as we're less than 24 hours away from the start of the new year, we have to get cap compliant. And the Chargers are not cap compliant right now. And as of right now, unless something has happened in the last half an hour, free agency, we still have the big four. We have 4 players who are cap.
Over 30 mil those
120 million in cap out of the $255 million cap is in 4 players. And what are we going to do?
And those 4 players, it's not like it's Herbert that you're not getting rid of. It's 4 guys that potentially could be cut or traded or something. But it's too late now, right?
No, it's not too late. We have until 1 p.m. or it's 4 p.m. Eastern time. So 1 p.m. Pacific tomorrow that we have to be cap compliant.
Cutting that, like, this is what I kept reading, is that teams are like, we're not going to trade for him. We'll wait and see if they cut him, and then we'll pick him up, so they don't have to.
100%, and I understand that strategy. But if these are some sought after players, which come on, they are sought after players. Khalil Mack, he's 33, 34, but career year last year and no signs of slowing down. People are going to want his services, and so you want to risk the idea. Okay, are they going to cut him because they have to? Potentially. There is still the idea that there is some sort of way of restructuring these contracts for some of the players, at least, extending them and kind of moving the cap down the road a little bit. But people are going to want Khalil Mack's services. Joey Bosa, it's an interesting situation on his end. He's been hurt the last 2 years, but when he is healthy and ready to go, he's one of the top edge rushers out there, and he's still got years left in the tank. So what are people going to trust? His injury history is probably going to lower his value, but if he hits the open market, you bet your bottom dollar that it's not just going to be you in the running here. Keenan Allen, I have a really tough time. He's he's a contract extension candidate, and that's what's going around the Chargers community, is that he's maybe a 2-year contract, spread the cap down the line a few years, and the new TV deals and everything starting to kick in. These cap numbers are going to get bigger, and so hopefully that helps our situation. The last of the big four, it's Mike Williams. Man, love Mike Williams. He's when he's out there as a 50-50 specialist, the community jokes, it's 60-40. Yeah, it's 70-30. That guy knows how to get those contested catches. It's just he puts his body every time he jumps up, and he's not a very graceful landing.
It's a big
He doesn't have a
body.
graceful land. He's a big body, and every time he lands, I have the fear. It's that cringe of he's gonna get hurt this time, and it seems more often than not he is hurt. Um, so if I were to rank them as most likely to get cut, I think Mike Williams would be up there. He's 29 right now. Not to say that he has some years left, but the type of receiver that he is compared to the type of receiver Keenan is, those contested catch, like very physical type receiver. Keenan's that shifty guy. He's one of the best route runners in the league, so he doesn't necessarily have to put his body in harm's way. I read somebody's article, I think it was last year, talking about Keenan and his longevity being somewhat similar to Larry Fitzgerald. And, he played into later 30s with the Cardinals. And he was still effective, right? He wasn't the big 1,000 yards every season receiver, but he still got the job done, and he was able to stay healthy. So that's the hope. And then I think we'd have to get. It's tough between Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa.
I've
I think Joey Bosa, his age, the fact that we have him longer than 1 year, Mack's contract, this is his last year in his contract, and his age, no matter what he contributed to the team last year, I think he would be the one that we'd have to cut, and then
I've
Joey Bosa, then
I've
Keenan.
seen lots of arguments to keep Joey Bosa over Mac, because that's
Yeah,
kind of what the fans seem to think. From what I
right,
see, is that it's one or the other. It's not like they're both gone. Is kind of what
right.
I'm seeing. Obviously, I don't know what the GM is thinking, but I've seen
hmm
lots of arguments for Joey Bosa, and I like that guy. He seems like he plays with a lot of heart, and he's really passionate.
He,
Just the injuries suck, man.
the injuries, and he's frustrated. You see it. You
Hmm.
see like him getting carted off. He showed all that emotion, and I don't know how many interviews. He's not a very emotional guy. He's got a very dry sense of humor and just straight to the point. But like he puts everything into this game, and aside from the first few years in the league, he hasn't been able to consistently be on the field for a full season at
Hmm.
least. And so, we've got somebody who came with Harbaugh over from Michigan, Ben Herbert, who's part of their sports medicine team. Um, and he was he's charging top dollar for his position, right? And
That's how it
and
goes.
and the reason why is because he's considered the best in all
Hmm.
of college football. Jim Harbaugh knew that, and so the hope he comes in, develops a program to keep these guys healthy and shape at the best, or being able to commit and play at the best of their ability. So we've got to look forward to that. So maybe Joey comes back and he's able to stay healthy and play big, play strong, play
Hmm.
fast,
Hmm.
and revert back to form.
And your wide receivers, like, I think it's also kind of a thought that there will be one staying and one going, right? I haven't
Yeah,
seen too
yeah.
much about both going or both staying. Doesn't seem as likely from a fan perspective. But, you know, I know that he didn't have a good year, but Quentin Johnston is the replacement for Mike Williams. He's that same big guy. I remember when he was drafted, it was like, why we just signed Mike Williams? Why are we
Right.
drafting another Mike Williams? And so I
Yeah,
think,
he's definitely got the same like he's tall, right? He's
It
got the
was his
same
rookie
frame.
year, and
Rookie year, I get
and
it.
things weren't going well for the team. I think he's got a clean slate. For me, I'm excited to watch him again. I hope that he doesn't have the same or a similar season as he did this last one, but he's going to get more time. He's going to get more comfortable. He's got Harbaugh. I saw a tweet saying that Harbaugh's going to use him correctly or something like that. Whatever.
Trust in Harbaugh.
Justin
Trust in
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Yeah, it's I I think that QJ is the possible replacement for Mike Williams if and when he leaves. He's
Yeah,
cheaper,
yeah.
obviously, but he could do
I
it.
hope. I mean, all he has is up, right? All he
Yeah.
can go is up,
If,
and obviously, like bearing unfortunate events,
mhm, mhm.
um, like it wasn't a very good start, and especially when we had the choice of everybody except for JSN, like that run on receivers
It was pretty
were-
good, and we came out on
was
top. I feel like Jordan Addison, I
yeah. Well,
think,
I
was
mean, Jordan
the
Addison,
best of the bunch.
yeah. I mean, him and Zay Flowers, it's tough. Like
Obviously, the same
Zay
colors.
Flowers also,
Yeah.
had some pretty high highs
Hmm.
and some lower rookie learning moments is
Hmm.
is what I'll call it. Like that playoff game. Oh
Mm.
goodness gracious!
It's tough.
But you get excited, and I get it. A young player comes in and you do well, and there's a possibility that you can help your team win a playoff
Hmm.
game, and I could, you might psych yourself out. But Jordan Addison, absolutely. And we had, I believe it was our wide receivers coach last year who had a relationship with Jordan Addison, and
Mm.
that's why Chargers fans or the whole community was thinking we're going to sign Jordan Addison.
Hmm.
And you like he I believe he was hurt his second last year in college, and then he came back and he was doing well. And
I love him.
hey, this is the guy. Yeah,
He
absolutely.
is the guy, man. Like JJ
One
went
two
down.
punch JJ and Jordan Addison. JJJA. I don't know what you guys are gonna call Jordan Addison, but let's
Just
I'm
call him.
sure
We call
we'll
him
learn
Addy.
this next season.
I got another
What do you call
Vikings
him?
buddy. We call him Addy. Addison.
Addy?
Addy.
Addy, Addy, Addy. Right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
Addy, Addy, Addy.
he had a great season. I'm very very excited to have him on the team and see what he can do this year. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like
it's just
so
we're lucky.
trust in Harbaugh. So signings because of our cap situation, that the big four. I love the way that we call them that now. We don't we don't have the money to spend on big flashy free agents, and Saquon Barkley is out there, and the idea of Saquon Barkley teaming up, that was a rumor.
Hmm.
Um, Also rumored Derrick Henry, King Henry coming to the Chargers. Of course, we now know Saquon joining the Eagles, big 3-year deal. And then today with Derrick Henry signing with the Ravens, that was the foreseen location, the team
I
that he
was
was going to actually sign with.
I was surprised by his compensation. It seems low. Like I know
I
Derrick
I
Henry's
thought it was
age.
actually I thought it was going to be right there, 8 million, but it's because he's older, right?
That's what it
And
is, but
he
it
has
just
a lot of
sucks.
tread on the tires. He has a lot of tread. He's getting so many carries, and he's still making it work. So who knows? All the best for Derrick Henry and the Ravens, except for the Harbaugh takes place sometime next season.
Is it?
Yeah, year one,
Ooh, is it?
Harbaugh.
Are you guys at home or are they at home?
We're home. We're home. Of course, we don't know when that's going to happen. But Harbaugh,
That's
let's go.
super fun. That'll be super
But
fun.
Baltimore has been this running back just danger zone
Destroyer.
over the last little while, and obviously not wishing that on Derrick Henry, and just hopefully that trend, that curse doesn't
Well,
continue.
we'll
Because
see.
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, which one are you guys going to cover? Derrick Henry falls forward for 5 yards, and so it's tough, shifty and brunt force. It's going to be wild.
I'm thinking
But so
that's an interesting one because he's not going to get as many carries as he was getting in Tennessee. Like Tennessee was just, it was
no,
like every play is what it seemed like
no.
until for some reason it was like, oh, we got to close out the game, and they just never gave it to him. But
I think that 12 to 15 of meaningful touches for
He's
Derrick
gonna.
Henry, keep him fresh.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a great because you've got Lamar for another 5 to 7 scrambles, and then there's your 25 plus rushing attempts, and you know the
Well,
Ravens will more than likely run those numbers up, especially with them being such a great team.
yeah.
Obviously, the other Harbaugh, great coach, so they're winning. They're
But
winning. They can run out the clock at the
you
end.
guys are gonna get to see firsthand with Gus Edwards
Well, yeah,
if it was
with
just
Derrick Henry coming in, that means they had to, at least let the other guys test free agency, and one of those was the Gus bus. So let's all hop aboard the Gus bus.
you
Reading
know.
today, his career carry average is
Ooh.
4.9, higher than the aforementioned Saquon Barkley. So he's been in a committee pretty much all his life, or all his career here in the NFL. He went undrafted, out of Rutgers, I believe, and he's come in and just been efficient, and he's top five. I forget what his ranking was, but in short yardage situations last year, Gus
He's awesome.
Edwards, yeah,
He's
like
awesome.
something like 240 pound back. We've had Austin Eckler, 190 to 200 pounds, but pound for pound, one of the strongest players in the NFL. But he's more of that shifty, catching the ball out of the field, um, type back, and so power back. Let's go. We need to get a run game around Justin Herbert, and a part of that run game will also be former Seattle Seahawk tight end Will Disley. So we
Hmm.
signed Will Disley to 3 year, 14 million contract with 10 million guaranteed. Not flashy signing, but a needed signing. And so with Gus
Everything
Edwards and
counts.
Will Disley, one of the better blocking tight ends in the league, this is solidifying that identity that Harbaugh and our new OC Greg Roman want to bring in, and that's making sure that we have that run game. Greg Roman, a quote from him: "Imagine Justin Herbert with a run game, and you can let your imagination run wild. Herbert can make all the throws."
Yeah.
And he's had the years where the stats have been there. He's throwing for 4,000, 5,000 yards, a ton of touchdowns. But if he can just be precise, he's got the accuracy, he's got the arm, he's got the smarts,
Mhm.
and now he's got the run game to back it up. That's only going to help the defense, and it's going to be a full package that we have to offer. I can't wait. I don't need the barn burners anymore. I don't need the high scoring affairs. Let's get it right. Let's get the wins. Let's translate Justin Herbert's success, talents. Let's translate the winning that Harbaugh has had at every level he has coached, and let's move forward. And um, I'm excited. The other free agency signing, and that's being on the defense. This running game, helping the defense, helping them stay fresh, running out the clock a little bit more. We re-signed free safety Alohi Gilman to a 2 year, $11 million contract with just over 5.5 guaranteed. And
Is
so Alohi Gilman came in last year when Derwin James was hurt, and he was one of the better bright spots on that defense. He's a good tackler. He's always out there trying to make plays. He doesn't play scared. He's out there. He's creating those turnovers too. We're very happy. The community is very happy that Alohi Gilman has come back. Um,
is that year three? Is there anything you guys have
that's
after?
that's where we're at right
That's where
now.
you're at.
That's where we're at right now.
Well,
So who knows what's going on? We saw a few moves happen in the NFL last night, but does not seem like anything has
has happened
happened
while we've been
since
talking.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was thinking that you guys had been pretty, not very active in the free agency, but
Right.
I was texting my buddy saying, "Well, you guys already won your off season at at the start."
100%.
So it doesn't
100%.
matter. It doesn't
100%.
matter
Yep.
what's going on right now. As fans, you can feel really, really good and excited about next year, regardless of what free agency looks like.
And that feels so good. Like, me, I get into each and every game,
Hmm.
and even if we're not winning, I try and tell myself, "Don't worry. Yeah, the season's over." But I am invested, and it feels so good to just it's kind of a load off my shoulder that I can just trust the process again, and I feel like that's the flipping of the new page, and
Yeah.
very excited. We did have to lose some pieces, besides the big four that have yet to go. Like Eckler went to the Commanders, 2 years, 11 million. That's less than what we were paying him last year. Actually, his whole contract, except for his rookie deal, of course, as an undrafted free agent. Kenneth Murray, our second first round pick in 2020 after Justin Herbert. We traded back up into the second round. I believe it was pick 20. We traded up to pick 20 with the New England Patriots and chose Kenneth Murray, who's going to be our middle linebacker, right before Patrick Queen went to the Baltimore Ravens at 21. And Kenneth Murray just never panned out. We didn't pick up his fifth-year option. He had some shining moments.
He had two picks against us this last year.
Yeah, there you go. Shining moment.
It's the OG
when he signed, K9, exactly. He got that 9 jersey and it looked nice. It looked clean. It looked mean. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. So he signed a 2-year contract with the Titans, 15 mil. And then Gerald Everett, he was good for us. He, a lot of the time he was a great. He was a beast with the ball in his hands. He was vicious when he ran. But he did have some moments where he didn't show that he was putting it all in. I remember there's one game where to be fair, he had just made a hell of a play. Yak machine, yards, ran all the way close to the end zone, and then he needed a breather. But Staley was like, "Nope, we're running. We got to keep going." But he was tired, and he did not get back up to the play. I forget who we were playing. He did not get back up to the play. Justin Herbert hurried the offense, threw the ball in his direction, but he was not there. Pick 6. I think it was 99 yards.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. That's my memory of Everett. That's what I remember is him like, I need to get off. I need to get off.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he turns around so defeated and then goes to the line.
Breaker.
And it's over.
So he went and signed with the Bears. So your division rival.
How old is he now?
$12 million.
He's got to be getting up there a little bit.
I think he's like
right?
28.
Oh, really? 28. Man, he feels older to me.
Yeah.
It feels like he's been in the league for a long time. But
yeah, it's because he's so he started with the Rams, I'm pretty sure. Then he played with the Seahawks, and then he came to us, and then now the Bears.
Yeah, I guess when you switch teams, it feels like maybe you had a longer tenure.
Oh, so he's 29. So he's 29. June 25th, he will be 30.
I always liked him though. I liked him with you guys, but it sucks that that's like the one memory, like the most prominent memory that I have of him.
Right.
He made lots of great plays for you guys, so that's a
yeah. He did. He's great.
I wouldn't be ecstatic about losing him. Like I'd be a little upset. Like he there's good memories there at least.
No, there definitely is. I wouldn't have been upset if he came back. But potentially bigger, better names coming to the tight end room, and we'll get to that a little bit here. But like Vikings, what's going on?
Free agency.
Holy moly, free agency. Vikings legend Aaron Jones.
Vikings legend Aaron Jones. That is the big one. I'd say that's the big one, especially for the division. That's the big one. It's strange because he was a Packer. DeAndre Swift was a Lion. David Montgomery was a Bear. And those three have moved around the division to other teams within the division, which is kind of fun. A little revenge game action all the time, it feels like.
Oh, God, don't tell Tiki Barber about these.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know what that's about. Like, I don't know. I think Saquon doesn't owe anybody anything. Anyways, that's beside the point. But yeah, Vikings free agency and offseason has been wildly different from the Chargers. You guys won immediately. For us, it was like, is Kirk going to come back?
Right.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen here? Are we going to trade JJ? That was thrown around a lot, which was silly in my opinion. There's absolutely no way that's going to happen. But there were so many question marks about so many things, and we've just been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and it happened. Kirk Cousins gone. That's I don't even have to talk about any of our signings. That's the biggest thing to happen to our team. Am I upset? I am extremely upset. Kirk was my favorite. I absolutely loved Kirk. Um, he made games fun. Also made some games not as fun. But he was my quarterback. He
Right.
he was the quarterback that I most recognize or associate with the Vikings when I think of the Vikings. That's like
Right.
me as a fan. That's my guy, and so
Cousins.
I'm very upset. It sucks a lot. I'm less upset when I see that it's $45 million a year for 4 years, and
100 guaranteed.
you could say it's like it's 2 years and they could cut him after that. But
Sure, 2 million, 100 or 2 years, $100 million, so
yeah,
50 million a
it's
year,
pretty crazy. So
fully guaranteed.
I am I'm happy that we didn't pay that. I'm upset that he left. I think I can feel good about feeling both of those things at the same time. But he's gone. And he's
Right.
not dead to me, but he's dead to me.
Nope.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I like
When
the
you play
guy.
the Falcons, he's dead to you.
And we play the Falcons this year.
Right.
And so the player, I'm not thinking about him anymore. He's gone. He's not a part of our team. I don't care about it anymore. I don't like. I wish him well as much as I wish every player well.
Right.
But for our team, he's gone. We're done. Who do we replace him with? Not many options out there. Not many options at all.
Not in free agency.
Uh,
Oh my God! You sent me a list.
yeah,
You
it was,
sent
it
a
was
list the other day.
horrible.
Let's just
Yeah,
read this
read the
list.
list.
What a good list that
I
was.
believe what I said was this list makes me depressed. I think that's what I texted you.
Is that what you?
It
Yeah.
was
Let's.
not fun. And amongst the bottom of the list was someone who we
Excuse
may
my
or may not have
language.
signed.
That's not quite what you said. The shittiest list I have ever read
Oh,
makes me depressed.
there you go. That's what I said. Okay, read it
Ryan
off to me.
Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill. Jacoby Brissett, who is no longer available. He's re-signed with the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Jameis Winston, who is no longer available. I forget where he
Browns. He
signed.
went to the Browns, I believe.
Browns, okay. Zach Wilson, no.
That's
Trey
bottom.
Lance,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's pretty
Zach
bottom
Wilson must
too.
be bottom. Trey Lance, I mean, Cowboys saw something in
Well, we got to
him,
trade for
but
him though, because I think they didn't they
yeah,
pick up his fifth
I
year
don't think
option or
it'll
something.
cost too much, right? Um, Kenny Pickett, is Kenny Pickett actually a free agent, or
I
would
don't
you
think he's a
have to
free agent.
you would have to trade
Yeah,
for
this is a
Pickett,
list of except I don't think Justin Fields was on this list, but
right? Oh, okay, right. Mason Rudolph, Davis Mills, and Sam Howell. You'd have to trade for Sam Howell, but I'm sure he's available since
I'm
pick
sure
number
he's
two. It
available.
seems those Commanders are going to be taking
Sam
either
Howell,
Greg May or JJ.
yeah.
Right.
Sam
Right.
Howell was like higher on that list of garbage. The list of
Right.
garbage, Sam Howell. I liked Sam Howell.
Wait, you didn't even on that list is not even who you ended up with
He
in free
wasn't.
agency.
Oh God,
No,
Jesus.
you
So we
missed
didn't
that
get Sam
treasure.
Howell. We ended up getting a different Sam.
The other Sam.
Better? Well, he is now. Now that he signed with us, he's awesome. I wanted this guy the whole time. I was waiting for the
100%.
Vikings to
Yeah.
sign this man. Sam Darnold took a huge discount for us. Thank you. Thank you. 1 year, 10 million.
What
Uh,
a G, that Sam Darnold.
what a G. Absolutely love the signing. I have always been a Sam Darnold fan, and I will continue to be a Sam Darnold fan until next year when he
Do
is
you
no
mean
longer on the team.
former number 2 overall pick Sam Darnold?
Former number two, number three, number two overall pick, Sam Darnold, whatever he was.
Or the number, right.
He
Maybe it was
is
3.
the God Emperor quarterback of the United States. That's our quarterback. I'm gonna start calling him Lisan Al Gaib. That's what I'm calling him now. The Mahdi,
You were correct. It was third
third
overall by the
third
New York
overall.
Jets.
Lisan Al Gaib in the flesh. He's the one as written.
Oh,
So
as written.
as written, he's the man, and I love it. He is only a bridge quarterback, it would seem, to what is likely a quarterback being drafted. I think that there's a common theme with a couple teams, the Patriots being one, Jacoby Brissett, the Commanders being one with Mariota, was it? Who signed with Washington? No, it wasn't.
I don't know who signed with Washington, but they
I don't.
have Sam Howell, right?
Yeah, but they signed a 1 year bridge quarterback as
Mm.
well, and then we did, and there was a few teams that did that are looking to sign or to draft a quarterback in this
Marcus
upcoming draft.
Mariota went to the Commanders.
Yeah, there you go. So all three of us signed these quarterbacks that seem to be the veteran presence for the would-be draft pick.
Right.
But I'll keep going through the list. So before Sam Darnold, we actually had awesome news. Jonathan Greenard, I think I'm saying that right.
Yep.
Defensive end, 4 years, 76 million, so just under 20 million a year. So I think 19 million a year for 4 years. He was a Houston Texans defensive end, and then we ended up picking up the Houston Texans linebacker Blake Cashman, 3 years, 25 million. Apparently, like I don't really recognize or can't like picture how they were on the field watching games this year. I did watch a few Texans games or pay attention to.
Yeah, they were fun.
They were really fun, but I'm focusing on
surprisingly fun.
Yeah,
mostly
100%, right. So, 100%. But the fans seem to like these two picks, these two signings. Sorry, so I'm excited for them. It's nice to just bolster up the defense, you know. After that, we got our guy Brian Flores, his man apparently Andrew Van Ginkel, 2 years. It says he's a linebacker.
Oh man, especially the later half of last season, I kept seeing Van Ginkel all over the place.
That guy's a G. He's awesome. A G. And apparently, he was him and his wife are Vikings fans. Or I saw a picture of them in like Minnesota Twins gear, and there was like a video.
Really?
Yeah, there was a video.
It's like
of them.
A dream come true.
It's super cool. Yeah, he's a Midwestern guy, so he's really excited to come out here. And there was like a video of him giving his daughter a cake that was purple and yellow. So people were like, "Oh, he's always been a Vikings fan." So we'll see how true that is. But either way, it's just really fun.
Immediate.
What's that?
Immediate love by the fans.
Oh yeah, he knows what he's doing, right? Like he does that, and we all embrace him instantly and say, "Yes, you're one of us. Yes, we always wanted you." But it's the fun Brian Flores connection that he has there, and we love B-Flow around here. So it's good that he's got his guy. It seems, and we're very, very hopeful. So those were 3 defensive pickups that we got, which were huge because our defense was the defensive talent was a weak point in our season last year. We talked
Van Ginkel and Greenard on Greg Rosenthal's top 101 free NFL free agents.
Yeah.
Greenard was 15.
Yeah, but who was number 1?
Van Ginkel was 39. So solid. Solid players. Number 1 was Chris Jones. Kirk Cousins was number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
But it didn't come back to you. Okay, I'm just saying, like those are great signings on defense, absolutely.
But Greenard and Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, these guys, maybe not Cashman. He's a linebacker more so. Van Ginkel's listed as linebacker, but he's more of like an edge. Just like our other guy we lost, Daniil Hunter, he also then went to the Texans. On a deal that seemed like we could pay. I think it was 2 years,
2 for 49, right?
Yeah, 2 years, 49 million.
So an extra $5 million each season.
Yeah, and I like that guy. That guy's the bomb. He had a great season last year. I'm glad he went somewhere to get paid, but it just didn't seem like that was out of the realm of us paying him. So.
Well, I mean, with you having JJ on the line, I saving anywhere you can is going to be necessary. And like all the best to Daniil Hunter because he was a beast watching him. That 99 sweet jersey, we've talked about it. but he's going to the
99 with
AFC.
the Vikings font. So
Yes,
sick.
yes,
So sick.
yes.
Yeah.
But he's going to the AFC, so
Yeah.
you really don't have to worry about him too much. Once you play him in the regular season, as
Mhm.
infrequent as that is, and then not in the Super Bowl because the Chargers will beat
Exactly.
the Texans in any round of the playoffs. But
Okay.
like with the rest of free agency, like what are some like do you have any dream scenarios? Is there anything else that you can do in free agency that you really want the Vikings to do? Are there any disaster scenarios for the 2024 free agency period? And it doesn't have to be the Vikings specifically, but like anything that the Lions pick up. I mean, I can think of a disaster scenario right now for the Lions, but yeah, for you, for the Vikings,
It's for us. I think it's not really free agency because he's signed to the Chiefs. The corner, I'm losing his name, who said like they franchise tag him.
L'Jarius Sneed.
L'Jarius Sneed. He's one that I would be very, very excited to get. I just don't know the cost.
Okay.
I don't know how much you have to send.
Right.
You know,
Right.
is it a
I mean,
third? Is it a second? Is that
I think
worth
at
it?
minimum it's a second.
But then he
they
wants,
might even be looking for a first.
but then he wants 20 mil a year or something like that, if I'm
Yeah.
remembering correctly. So that's a pretty big ask, but he just won the Super Bowl and did great in the playoffs, right? So I would
Yeah.
love it if he came to the team. But again, it's all about the right costs and the right structure of the deal. So I would
100%.
be happy, and I have faith if we pick him up. I have faith that they believe that that was the right choice, and if they believe it, like our front office, then I believe it. So they know best. So
100%.
that would
Yeah, I mean
be
that
what we
that would be
want.
cool. And
Mhm.
you know what? I would love that. The Chargers community would love that.
Yes, exactly. Seems like
Please
he's
take
gone anyways,
L'Jarius
but
Sneed. Yeah, I mean, if at the end of the day, worst case scenario, they've got him on the tag, he's gonna play. So, okay, what's a disaster scenario for the Vikings in free agency this year?
I would have said at the beginning that Kirk doesn't resign, but that's already gone. A
Disaster
disaster.
scenario achieved.
Yeah, it's just,
How would I give you one? Disaster scenario: the Chargers trade one of Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa within the next 18 hours to the Detroit Lions.
Mm.
That is something that I have seen especially more often in the last week.
I did
And
see Daniil Hunter to the Lions rumored or to the Bears
ooh,
rumored. So that was really good that he went out of division. So
yeah,
if they are trying to bolster up, one of those guys is the guy, or is one of the guys that are available, right? It's not even that you guys trade. It's like one of them possibly will just be free and up for grabs. And the Lions are a desirable team. People want to play for
right
that
now,
guy, and
100%.
they possibly will make it deep again. They're contenders, and people want to play for them. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. So hopefully, I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword. We definitely trade and get something back for those players. But of course, to help the Vikings out, preference would be elsewhere than the
Yeah.
NFC North.
So then,
I mean, who knows?
what's your
Yeah,
disaster?
well, okay. I'll start with my disaster. I mean, I read something today. Patrick Mahomes reworked his contract, so it cleared 21 million cap space for the Chiefs. I'm not following too closely what their cap situation is like, but the Chiefs getting any money to play with. I don't know if it's just to help work in Chris Jones' new contract or if they're making a move or planning on making a move. I don't like it. I don't like the Chiefs doing anything that's going to help them out. So that is looking like it could potentially evolve into a disaster scenario. And I think another disaster scenario is if within the next 18 hours, we release all of the big four or most of the big four. Like we have to we're 21 plus the new. I was reading 21 plus the new signings that we have. That's another 10 mil on the cap this year. So we're about 31 over the cap. Plus we have to get enough under the cap to pay for our new incoming draft picks. So we have to clear something like 40 to 50, about 45, $50 million in cap space. So releasing all of these guys would just be,
It's crazy.
wow.
You guys are
I
so
really have to
talented.
trust in Harbaugh. We believe in Harbaugh.
Have you seen those
Unfortunate.
Harbaugh Herbert 24 stickers that they got going? It looks like a presidential.
JH and
No, it says
UGM.
like Harbaugh 24 and it's got Herbert with him like a presidential like
Yeah,
candidate and vice. It's fun.
absolutely. I love it. I want it. That's what I want right now. So
You
that
can
would be
find it.
disaster scenario. Um,
What's your
dream
dream?
scenarios. I like trade Mike Williams. Like this
Mm,
is on the flip side, and then
mhm.
whichever edge gets us the best return.
Yeah.
I am indifferent if Joey has to go because he gets the best return. It was great. All the best, Joey. But happy to obviously. But I want to keep one of them. We extend Keenan Allen as we talked about. I think that's the dream. Keenan Allen, if he can play his whole career as a Chargers, man, I love Keenan. I
He
love
seems like that
Keenan.
guy.
That 13 is so nice. Like,
Hmm.
and he's such a cool dude. He's obviously a great football player, one of the best route runners in the league. But man, that guy's got some talent off the field too, playing piano and singing. He was on The Masked Singer. You know
Was
that? Like
he?
what? Yeah, he was on The Masked
Sick.
Singer. It's crazy.
That's sick.
Um, and then dream scenario again, bring it back. Ben Herbert, one of the staffers, sports medicine, sports performance for the Chargers now, from Michigan. Make sure that he comes in and instills his program. Make sure the players are
Hmm.
getting where they need to be, so we can beat this injury curse.
Hmm.
But that's what I've got for free agency. We'll see what happens in the next 18 hours, and then we know that post June 1st is another important date,
Hmm.
especially for free agency. So we'll see what happens in the next little bit. And yeah, stay tuned. But free agency inevitably brings us to the spectacle that is the NFL draft.
Hmm.
And oh, it's going to be great. So excited. All the rumors, all the mock
Yeah.
drafts, they've been going on for some time, but like what on earth are the Chargers and the Vikings going to be doing?
I can
You know,
I can start here.
yeah.
The
What are the
Vikings.
Vikings doing?
I've seen trades to the Chargers. I
Oh,
have
me
seen
too.
that many times. Uh, we are drafting a quarterback. That is
Yes, you are.
almost it's guaranteed almost. Um,
Right.
Whether we do it with the first or not is yet to be seen. It seems likely that we take 11. What I see most of all is that we get JJ McCarthy, and we
Right.
have.
At 11, like that's sticking at 11?
I've seen it at 11, but I've seen it traded up to as high as 5 to you guys to get him
Right.
because
Jim Harbaugh said he
it,
should be the
and
first overall pick.
we trust in Harbaugh. So cuz it seems like he could be the 5th quarterback, right? So or the 4th. So it would be Caleb Williams, possibly Drake May
Yep.
second. We don't know. Could be Jaden Daniels,
Aiden Daniels, right?
and then it's JJ, right? So it's just the 4. Is that how it works, or is there a 5th?
Yeah.
Because I know like
No, there's like fifth, sixth.
yeah, but
Bo Nix is
Bo
there.
Nix
Oregon a little bit later.
and
Michael
Penix,
Penix Jr.
they're later though, right? It seems like
Right.
with the first we're gonna get JJ McCarthy is what is what
Right.
people think. Obviously nobody knows, but that's what's mocked a lot of the time. Because he seems to be the lower of the bunch there, but he's moving up quickly, so it's tough to say. There's been a
Right.
lot of speculation about teams who are interested in him that they need to jump the Vikings if they want to get him. So
Yes.
and
But
that could
I've also
happen.
heard that you need to jump the Giants in order to potentially get your guy. And Giants are sitting there at 6, which makes the Chargers a perfect trading partner.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
a
you've got people like the Raiders. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in free agency? There's a
mhm.
rumor here that I saw that the Raiders are close to trading for Justin Fields, which holy hell, AFC West quarterbacks crazy again. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with the Broncos, but Broncos are another team that needs to
Yeah,
find their
Broncos I
quarterback.
saw. And Broncos were trying. I think they had a bid in for Darnold as well, and we beat him out,
Yes,
which was
yes,
good.
awesome. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. Vikings.
Hopefully, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess Sam
But
Darnold wouldn't
it
take
seems
anything away from our division.
it seems almost like a given that if we don't get one of those quarterbacks in the first, which we're hopefully aiming for, then we will take the we don't have a third round pick this year, which sucks. But we would pick Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. I think that
Okay.
they're second or third round mocked a lot of the time, right? Like they're pretty.
You know, the
It's
mocks
hard.
have been all over the place, and
Yeah.
especially everybody putting that premium on quarterback play.
Yeah.
We saw last year how many injuries to starting quarterbacks and how many backup quarterbacks, and we saw the level of play,
Hmm.
and there is that difference, and so I think the need, the love, the want for a franchise quarterback is going to take front and center stage.
Yeah.
And so who knows? Who knows? I think I've seen a couple mock drafts where the five quarterbacks get taken.
Hmm.
Even six if people want to get that fifth year option, and that's something too, right?
Yeah, it
Um,
is.
Making sure you get that fifth year option. Just
It's
don't trade too much to the Chiefs there down at pick 32 to make sure that happens.
it's very interesting, and so it seems like it's all, like I said, all but guaranteed that we choose or pick a quarterback. Which one? Don't know. When? Don't know. But that seems like the plan with Darnold on 1 year is that a quarterback, a rookie is coming, and Darnold will bridge that gap, so to speak, maybe for the entire season, maybe for
Right.
most of the season, maybe for half. Who knows? But the expectation would be to draft a quarterback and have them compete for that spot against Darnold, and we'll see how that goes. But
Right.
that's what it's looking like. Let's say that's the first. A lot of people
So
had
most of your mocks are going quarterback
most
in
of the mocks are going quarterback. I've seen um, some
Dallas
corners.
Turner. I've seen Dallas Turner a bunch, and he just turned heads at the combine there.
Yeah,
Edge rusher out of Alabama.
yeah. Yeah,
So
there was edge a lot, but then with the two free agency signings, it's just not like
yeah,
people don't
two
see it
free
as
agency
much of a
signings.
need. But
And you didn't get one of the big. You didn't re-sign Kirk. You know that I think a lot of these mocks that had him
exactly,
going to were
exactly.
before
So
the.
the rest of the draft, I like drafting. I liked we in our free agency we signed two re-signed two offensive line players just for some depth, which is kind of
Right.
nice. But I would like to see maybe another O line pick,
Yeah.
possibly at some point in the draft. That would be nice. It's always nice to bolster up.
100%. And
Um,
you know, as we get closer to the draft, I think we're gonna start to see those those um, those plans start to come out
mhm,
you know, like when free agency kind of comes full circle and you
yeah,
know we'll get to a point where we know what teams needs are
yeah.
and better to solidify future draft plans.
And in my
Um,
opinion, right now, I think our points of need, obviously the quarterback position,
yeah,
and after that would be the cornerback position. And I think that getting a good defensive back would be a high priority for the team. But that's
100%. With
basically
the
that's our
league being a
draft in a
passing
nutshell.
league, right? Leagues being a passing league
Hmm.
now, you got to get those corners that can keep up with the receivers and these quarterbacks, man.
Yeah,
On the Chargers front, you know, we mock. You know, I'd say it's a solid three guys that we see most of the mocks going towards. And the number one guy getting mocked to the Chargers is going to be Georgia tight end Brock Bowers. Um, I've seen several scenarios where we do trade back. It's either between the Bears and the Vikings, so 9 or 11. You know, Vikings, you guys got to get your QB. Bears, I think they would be trading up to get one of these all-star receivers at 5. Um, so if we were able, and I'm getting ahead of myself, this is one of my dream scenarios for the draft. If we were able to trade down and get one of the guys, you know, particularly Brock Bowers is probably going to be the guy that's left based off positional value. Um, it would be a dream come true if that could happen. But Brock Bowers, man, this guy is a machine. And being in a division with the Chiefs, you know, having to defend Travis Kelsey, God forbid that slow thunking running
hmm
beauty of a tight end. You know, we need that guy. We need that Antonio Gates when it was Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates. What a connection that was. Yeah, but the last 3 seasons. So last year, 56 catches, 714 yards, 12.8 yards per catch, 6 TDs. Year before, 63 catches for 942 at 15 a pop, 7 TDs. Year before that, 56 for 882, 15.8 per catch, and 13 TDs. So in 3 years at Alabama, it's 175 catches with over 2,500 yards, averaging 14 and a half yards per catch, and 26 26 touchdowns. That does not include the rushing that he had in Alabama, which he was put to use there. So he is being considered as this offensive weapon, and he's the number one mocked guy to the Chargers. But we also see Malik Neighbors, the Biletnikoff, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, finalist. 89 catches for 1569 yards and 14 touchdowns. He really thought he was robbed with Marvin Harrison Jr. winning best receiver in the country. He's often mocked to us, and I think that would be a lot of fun. We've been missing speed on our end, and of course, love the shiny new toy. And with the free agency uncertainty with Mike and Keenan, we got to get somebody else out there. We don't know what Quentin Johnston's going to be, what he really has to offer. Josh Palmer is great, but he is more of that supplementary and supportive wide receiver out there. So getting somebody like Neighbors from LSU, that would be nice. But then you've also got Joe Alt, tackle. We've got Rashawn Slater there, left tackle. But Joe Alt going over to the right side. I'm sure the Chargers will figure out that whole situation. He is the number one tackle in the draft, especially after his counterpart got hurt during the combine. But then we see a little bit of Rome Odunze, the Washington wide receiver, getting if we trade down, that's a potential draft pick, and he just worked his butt off over in Indy at the combine. He scouts and teams were talking about him and his work ethic. He stayed after. I believe he was doing the 3-cone drill, and he just kept working because he was not satisfied. People were packing up and getting everything ready to go, and he kept working. But he crushed the combine. Self-comparison to Devontae Adams. We love some Devontae.
We do now.
But yeah. Well, kind of now.
I guess you don't know.
I don't. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we do.
Now he's off the Packers. Mm-hmm. We don't, because now he's on the Raiders. But hopefully he moves to the Jets with Aaron Rodgers soon. But Odunze, 92 catches for 1,640 yards and 13 touchdowns. These top 3 wide receivers, brilliant. And this is a deep wide receiver class. So that's what's going on right now. And a dream scenario for us. Somehow quarterback frenzy, premium quarterback. Somebody trades up, and the Cardinals select or trade down, and then they don't take him. I've seen a couple mocks where the Cardinals don't take Marvin Harrison Jr. and they take Malik Neighbors, which in the Cardinals' sake, the guy who should have won best receiver in the country, Malik Neighbors, they should take him.
You are lying to yourself.
It was only because I forget kicker's name right now. I'm very upset. He won. Or he missed the kick to beat the Seahawks in the season finale, and they locked in 4th overall pick. If kicker Matt Prater, if Matt Prater just got the kick, we would be a 4th overall, and we wouldn't even be having this discussion. Marvin Harrison Jr. would be in the powder blue. That's a dream scenario.
It'd be pretty much guaranteed at that point too. But at this point, everything I see from Cardinal fans, and they are piecing it all together. It was very exciting because Cliff Kingsbury was going to come over, and there was connections with Cliff and Marvin Harrison Jr. Or was it Caleb Williams? I don't remember. There was a lot of different. It was Cliff Kingsbury to the Bears, and they were like, "Oh, they're definitely taking Caleb Williams
Yeah.
now, so that means they're not going to trade, they're not going to do something, and then we get to get Marvin Harrison Jr. That was like all the Cardinals talk. And Cardinals are looking at everything. They're looking at the quarterbacks. Look at these guys. They're picking up these guys in free agency. Everything here. It's all lining up for us to get Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's
hopefully
what I'm
the
convinced
Cardinals
about. They have convinced me.
They need to build the team, okay? Their team was atrocious last year. They need to build an all-encompassing, a
Their
fully
quarterback was
balanced team, okay? Offense, defense, the whole thing. No. I don't care. I don't even know what you just said. But that's what they need to do. And how do they do that? In the draft, by trading down and acquiring picks for somebody who needs a quarterback, not for somebody trading for Marvin Harrison Jr. Disaster scenario. Obviously, it would be Patriots selecting Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 3, and then it would be the Cardinals selecting Malik Neighbors at number 4, and then we trade down, we lose out on all players, Joe Alt, Brock Bowers, and like that's disaster scenario. Again, we trust in Harbaugh, but it seems like, let's not have that scenario. Plus, I have to throw it out there: the Chiefs getting anybody good. Let's get them to trade out of the first round altogether. Don't get a 5th round option for whoever they get.
Whoever they get's gonna crush it too. They just signed Irv Smith, and I'm thinking, damn, Irv Smith.
What we don't want is new. Yeah, I saw the Irv Smith connection there.
Had so much potential with us. Never did it. Never did it with the Bengals. And now all of a sudden he's on the Chiefs, and he's gonna fucking do it. You just know it.
No, he's not, because Kelsey is there. He's backup.
He's like their third. He's like their third string.
Yeah,
but
he's
you just
third.
know.
Exactly. But Xavier Worthy, now new combine fastest record holder of the 40-yard dash at 4.21 holy wheels, is talking about how he would like to join up with Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes has texted him, and they can use me like Tyreek Hill. We don't need it. Okay. And he, hopefully that performance in the combine made his draft stock just take off.
I don't know when he was mocked originally.
I don't know either. But now, looks like he's worked his butt off into the first round.
Ooh.
Just hopefully not the Chiefs. What is a dream and disaster scenario for the Vikings in the 2024 NFL draft?
The dream, somehow, some way. This is my bold prediction. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I'm not even gonna say prediction. This is just my bold dream. Is that the Bears deem Justin Fields so good that they keep him and don't draft, and then decide we'll take the 3 firsts from the Vikings, and then we get Caleb Williams, and he turns out to be everything that he was supposed to be.
So you would trade 3 firsts to the Bears to go get Caleb Williams?
I think you have to, though, right? You have to if you want that. 11-1.
How about this? You trade Justin Jefferson now for number 1.
No, absolutely not. Because I wouldn't have any fun
you
watching
would
anymore.
trade 3 firsts and for the number 1 overall, but you wouldn't trade just Justin Jefferson. I'm not asking you to add anything else. Just JJ, who is about to be due for a massive contract for the number 1 overall pick. So that means you have number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, and then you have number 11, which you can also do something in this deep wide receiver draft class. You've got Jordan Addison already ready to go be your WR1.
You keep talking, and I your scenario makes no sense.
You crazy, man.
Makes no sense to me. I would never trade.
He's number 1 overall picks. No one's going to trade you 3 number 1 overall picks for Justin Jefferson.
Because we wouldn't take it.
Do you see the value disparity?
Because we wouldn't take it.
I
don't care about the value. The value is already realized.
Okay.
This is realized value in Justin Jefferson. He is the man. We know that.
He is the man.
That.
I'm not saying he is not the man.
And I'm not trading Justin Jefferson to the Bears.
But you're trading your next 3 years.
Yeah. To have a dynasty? Yeah.
A dynasty of 2 players?
Yeah. That's all you need.
Okay, Jordan Addison, 3 players.
That's all you need.
And Vikings legend Aaron Jones, 4 players.
Aaron Jones, yes.
All righty. Okay. Caleb to JJ sounds pretty nice.
That's my bold. It's not happening.
I get it. Dream scenario. Okay, what is disaster?
So the real dream is that we do trade up or just get whoever we like at 11. That'd be sweet somehow, some way.
Mhm.
I don't know, but at this point, I've never wanted to draft a quarterback because I liked Kirk and we had a good thing going, in my opinion. And now I'm scared. I'm in limbo, except for I have, like I said, God Emperor quarterback of the
Yeah.
U.S. So he's the best. Sorry, I'm not scared at all because he's taking us to the promised land. But it's very clear that we need a quarterback, and they have a guy that they like, and I want them to get the guy that they like. And it
And the
doesn't.
players like.
Well, no, I mean, well, yeah, the players will like him. Whatever, that'll work itself out. Yes, but I mean that the coach and the GM, they like one guy there more than the rest that they see that they could get, and I want them to get that guy. And it's not like the cost doesn't matter because it's going to be a lot. Just even to move up to your spot, it's going to be a lot. And so,
Right.
I want them to get him, whatever the cost is. You know, I don't expect them to go crazy. So whatever the cost is to get him, I hope that they get him because I think that's an exciting new era of football for us. So that's the dream.
I hope you guys land one, like a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I do. You know, when we transitioned from Phillip Rivers, I was so worried.
So scared.
And Justin Herbert comes in. We got the third choice. We didn't get a choice of Joe Burrow. We didn't get a choice of Tua. We got Justin Herbert.
And it worked.
And very happy. It worked.
Yeah.
You know, all three of those quarterbacks. Obviously, Joe Burrow's been to the Super Bowl, and when he's healthy, he's in the AFC Championship game. Tua just had a career year last year. I'm curious to see what the Dolphins are going to be doing with his contract because he's due. But then Justin Herbert too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were lucky, and so I really hope you do find a franchise quarterback, somebody that you can get behind your fans, the whole city of Minneapolis, and that would be solid for the next era of football because we have seen what choosing the wrong quarterback, investing so much draft capital in somebody like a Zach Wilson, like a Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And you know what? Some even to Carson Wentz, to a degree. Baker Mayfield. Baker's, you know, maybe he needed the right system. You know, Carolina obviously bad situations. The Browns were not the same situation that they're in now, but Baker has, you know, he had success with the Rams over that late half season a couple years ago, and then with the Bucks last year with a great supporting cast, and it seems like a good coaching system around him.
The reality is that quarterbacks are taken every year.
Yep.
And if quarterbacks
And
are
they're
taken
not
every
all
year,
gonna be
that
successful.
means that quarterbacks that were taken a couple years ago didn't pan out. And it
100%.
can easily happen to us. But the only way that it could work out is if we take a shot. So I'm really hoping that they take the shot. The disaster scenario would be that we don't get the top guys, one of them.
Yeah.
And then we decide, let's say, to trade back or something like that to prepare to get the others. And then maybe they get snatched up too. Or maybe we then have to trade back up in desperation because Bo Nix got taken and they want, now shit, Penix is the only one. And so then they have to reach for Penix. And it's like, so
Yeah,
that's a disaster scenario. They kind of all revolve around, all these scenarios revolve around the quarterback position just because it's the glaring hole that we have now once, you know, Jesus is gone. But, you know.
right. Well, let's hope that works out. We are still a month and a half away to the draft. I believe April 25th to 27th, your birthday.
My birthday. Hopefully they don't pick a quarterback on my birthday. Hopefully it's 2 days.
Well, no. Yeah,
Hopefully
2 years, 2
back.
days before. If you get a quarterback on your birthday, something went horribly wrong. And let's see, free agency, month and a half till the draft. Let's go. But everyone, thank you so much for taking the time today. We had fun. This is great. And let's skull bolts. Let's say it with me. Let's skull bolts.
Sorry, hold on, let's try that again.
Okay. No, not together. I'm just saying. Let's skull bolts, guys.
Okay, let's skull bolts. That's the one. Skull, baby.
All right.
All right. Good talk. Good talk. And
Good talk, bro.
like and subscribe as well, right?
Right. At BuiBros on X or Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, and at BuiBros on YouTube.
There you go. There you go.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, cheers. Okay, bye.